All right, good morning, gang. This is Mr. Glure. I'm going to give you a quick video about fractions here, so let's just get right into it. First thing is, what is a fraction? A fraction is a number just like any other number. The difference is it's just not a whole number. But you can treat it the exact same way as a regular number. Okay, it represents a certain amount. Okay, so if we have a fraction here, a simple one, let's do 1 over 4. Now that represents a quarter. Okay. So fractions, they can represent all kinds of things. A quarter could be a quarter of an hour, could be a quarter of a dollar, could be a quarter of a slice of pizza, could be a quarter of the way to wherever you're going, right? So it can represent a whole different bunch of different kind of things. But the top number here, we're going to try to get our vocabulary correct, is the numerator. And the bottom number we call the denominator. Sorry there. I have the denominator. Right? So basically the numerator represents the parts of the whole that are being taken up. So my circle down here, let's imagine this is a slice of pizza. If we're going to do the 1/4, just like I just gave there for an example, that would represent the red part. That is 1, and the denominator is how many parts it's split up into. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 even parts. That's the key. When you're using the denominator, you have to split up into even parts, or else it just doesn't make sense at all. Now over here, here's another example. I just drew a picture of somebody driving to a hockey game. I don't know. But you see the car is going along, and it's gotten to about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 10 kilometers that it's going to take to get to the hockey game. So if we were to write that as a fraction, that means there's 6 parts taken up. We've already gone 6 kilometers of the whole, which is split up into 10 kilometers. So you can represent that as 6 over 10. And there's numerous examples of fractions all over the world. And you can come up with them non-stop. But just for today, we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to go over our vocabulary. So let me just select this thing, and I'll show you your definition. So again, numerator is the number of parts out of a whole that are being taken. Okay? And the denominator is how many even parts, that's the key, don't forget, it's how many even parts the whole is divided into. Okay, moving on. We're going to talk about 3 different kinds of fractions. The ones we were just using there are called proper fractions. Okay? And a proper fraction is pretty simple. It's basically, I'm just going to write this out, hold on. There we go. It's a fraction whose numerator is smaller than its denominator. So remember, the numerator is on top, the denominator is on bottom. So for examples, you could have a half, you could have 3/4, you could have 5/8, you could have, geez, I don't know, you could have 214 over 300. It's still a proper fraction. Doesn't matter how big or small you go. Okay, as long as the numerator is smaller than the denominator. All right. On the same note, pretty much the opposite. If that was proper, this is improper. The key was that the numerator was smaller than the denominator. So for this one, take a guess. Hold on a second. It is a fraction whose numerator is larger than its denominator. So if we just switch these around, you can have 2 over 1, 4 over 3, 8 over 5, so on and so forth. You can think of a whole bunch. 11 over 7, 66 over 65. It all works. As long as, again, the numerator is larger than the denominator. Now, this same one, you can write a different way, and that's called a mixed fraction. Let me just write that out. And like that says, a mixed fraction is a number composed of a whole number and a fraction. That's the word mixed. So it has whole and fractions, right? So you can have 2 1/2, you can have 3 1/3, you can have 4 and 2/7. I don't know, whatever it is, right? 101 and 31 over 32. All the same thing. Those are all mixed fractions, okay? Because they have, again, a whole number, a fraction. So, now that we know what we're talking about with different kind of fractions, we're going to talk about how we can use these a little bit. If you notice, improper and mixed are kind of similar. They can mean the same thing. Those are two ways to write the same number. So I'm going to show you how to switch between those, okay? So, I'm going to give an example here. I'm going to draw a picture. Hold on. Okay, so we're going to do pizza again, just because it's such an easy one to do. And on the left, we're going to write what fractions we have as improper fractions. On the right, we're going to write them as mixed. I'm going to show you that these can be the exact same number. They represent the exact same thing. So we'll start out with an easy one. If we're going to go improper, because the numerator has to be greater than the denominator, we can just fill one in right away. Actually, you know what? That right there can be represented as both. So improperly, that's 4 parts out of 4. That is not a proper fraction, that is an improper fraction. And if we were to write that as a mixed number, that is just 1 full pizza, right? So you just write 1 full pizza. Okay? But let's say we add some more. So we have another 2 slices of another pizza. Now you can see right there, very easy to tell. You have 1 full pizza, and the other one you have half a pizza. Okay, now we're not going to write in lowest terms. I know some of you would probably jump ahead there, but we're just going to write it very simply as 1 pizza and 2 slices out of 4. Now you can also just put 1/2, but we're going to just keep it at 2/4. If we were to write this as an improper fraction, though, we just count the slices. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 slices. So, that would be 6. And here's the thing, how many slices are in a pizza? In this example, we have 4. So you keep the denominator the same. Okay? So that's the exact same thing. 6/4 and 1 and 2/4. Those are the exact same amount. It's just 2 different ways to write it. Let's say we kept going. Let's say now we have some extra slices. What about this? How could we write that? Well, again, let's start with improper this time. Count up our slices. We have 4 in the first, 4 in the second, plus 1 in our last piece, so that would be 9 slices. And again, there's only 4 in a pizza, so that would be 9/4. Again, if we're going mixed, you can count them up again. We have 2 full pizzas and 1 slice left over. So, same thing. Again, 2 ways to write the exact same amount. And just for one more example, let's fill this one up. And we'll try to write this real quickly. 3 pizzas, 3 slices, and just 4 a slice. And if we're going to do our last one, we count up all our slices. We have 4, 8, 12, plus 3, would be 15 slices. And there's only 4 in a pizza. So again, the exact same way to write the exact same amount. There's a different way to write the exact same amount between improper and mixed. But they can both be represented same way. So we're going to learn about how to go in between those, okay? So yeah, here we go. So the last thing I'm going to talk about here is equivalent fractions. Now, an easy way to remember this is it has the word equivalent in it, which kind of sounds like equal to me. And that's just exactly what it is. These are equal fractions. The same way we're writing the same amount in improper and in mixed, you can do it with any fraction. You just, what you do is you multiply the numerator by the same thing as the denominator. So for example, you have 2/3. Now there is an infinite amount of ways we can write this fraction, and they're all going to mean the exact same thing. It's all about balance. Whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. But it's only it's only multiplying or dividing. You can't just add or subtract. Only multiply and divide. So Let's say we just went by 2's. We multiply by 2. At the top, at the bottom, we would get 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 3 is 6. And that means the exact same thing as 2 over 3. We can keep going. Let's say we did this again. Let's multiply this by 2. We would have 8 over 12. Same thing. Times by 2, 16 over 24. And so on and so forth. All of those mean the exact same thing. It doesn't matter which numbers you use, as long as you do the same thing to the top as you do to the bottom. Those are all the same. It works for improper as well. Let's say we had 4 over 3. Again, actually, let's go the opposite way. Let's go 40 over 10. Now let's say we divide it by 2. Divided the top by 2, bottom by 2, because those are even numbers. We know that's going to go in both of them. That would be 20 over 5. Now let's say we divide it by, well, we can't do 2 because 5 won't be divided by 2. But both of them could be divided by 5. We can go even smaller. We can get 4 over 1. And that is about as low as you can go. But all these numbers mean the exact same thing. So we'll be using that a lot later. But anyway, that's a good start for your foundation. Get some basics and check out the next videos if you're having any trouble. Thanks. Bye.